They want to know if you do a feature with Modell, P5, Malcolm. You know them? Nah. Alright, never mind.
King Von was one of the most popular rappers from Chicago before he was tragically killed in late 2020.
And GBI investigators still here on scene. This shooting made national headlines as officials confirmed one of the 3 people shot and killed was rapper King Von from Chicago, who was here last night with friends.
Part of what made Von so popular was his storytelling abilities and the respect that he had from the rest of the city. But before rap, Von was known for being a real gangster with a dark past, which is what made his music so real. This past came to light during a Twitch interview the rapper did, where he was trolled by an anonymous user who asked him a question about his dead Opps. Let's take a closer look at this crazy story. On October 8th, 2020, King Von appeared on The Leak, a Twitch show sponsored by Rolling Loud, the annual hip-hop festival that started in Miami. The show covers some of the recent releases in hip-hop, and Von appeared to answer questions about his debut album, Welcome to O Block, which was released later that month. The interview starts out normal, with Von answering questions about his upcoming album and creative process. But toward the end, the interview takes a strange turn after the hosts are taking questions from users in the chat. A user with the screen name SaltyKnob713 pops up in the chat and told the host to ask Von if he'd ever do a feature with Modell, Tyreek, P5, or Malcolm. The hosts clearly don't understand the reference because they read the question out loud to Von, who gives them a confused look. The host quickly moves on because he can tell that Von is acting weird, but he makes it even worse by making a comment about Tuka. The host says, he already told us about Tuka. He said Tuka one of his favorites to work with. After that, Von just starts to laugh and things get even more awkward. Fans of Chicago drill will know that Shondell Gregory, aka Tuka, was a 15-year-old gangster disciple who was killed back in 2011. Von is a black disciple who's known to beef with the GDs. Tuka's death and the retaliation killings that followed up were a major turning point in the war between these rival groups. Many BDs who later blew up in the music industry have dissed the rapper in songs as a way to get at their enemies. King Von is one of those rappers and has dissed Tuka many times in his music. The interviewers clearly didn't do much research on Chicago drill, otherwise they would have known that Von clearly wasn't serious about doing a feature with Tuka. They asked him another question about when the music video for his track Gleesh Place was dropping, which he responded to by saying that it was coming soon.
They want to know about the Gleesh Place video.
Oh, Gleesh Place coming soon. And I do a feature with all the tell them just send them money.
Yeah, we need that bag, 100 racks.
But clearly, he couldn't get the previous question off his mind and asked the host to repeat it.
Say the names who went through the features again.
By this point, he's gotten up and started walking around the house to look for his friends Muwap and O Block Louie, who are in the other room. Von tells the host to read off the previous question again so they can hear. The host can clearly sense that something is up, but still doesn't understand exactly what the question is asking. He says, they want to know if you'd ever do a song with Yungeen Ace, Jada Yungeen, or K, but Von cuts him off and tells him to say the other names.
They want to know if you'd ever do a song with Yungeen Ace, Jada Yungeen, and K. I don't know who that K artist is.
No, say the other names you said.
He finds the question in the chat and repeats, would you ever do a feature with Modell, Tyreek, P5, or Malcolm?
If you do a feature with Modell, Tyreek, P5, or Malcolm.
The expression on Von's face was pretty shocked, and Muwap just looks away from the camera like he wants no involvement. Von turns the camera on O Block Louie, who also looks like he wants no part of the interview. The host just starts nervously asking, I'm assuming that's a no, while Von laughs before asking, what are you, want some police shit? The reason that question got such a strange reaction from Von is that Modell, P5, Tyreek, and Malcolm were all murder victims. The word on the streets is that Von may have had something to do with each of their deaths. Modell McCambry was a dude from Chicago who was shot and killed back in October 2012. Modell was allegedly affiliated with the STL EBT set of the Gangsta Disciples, the same set as Tuka, who are known to beef with the BDs from O Block like King Von. Modell was also the cousin of FBG Wooski, one of O Block's most hated ops and King Von's rival. Wooski grew up in O Block, but had to leave after a BD named Brazy was killed in a brawl between the two gangs. Wooski was allegedly the shooter, even though he was only 12 or 13 at the time. After that, he became one of the main enemies of the BDs in Parkway Gardens. His beef with King Von began after Wooski allegedly killed a member of O Block named Platoon. Platoon was a close friend of King Von, which made the beef between him and Wooski personal. Check out our previous video on FBG Wooski, the gravedigger of Chicago, for more info on this beef. According to street rumors and internet gossip, Von caught Modell lacking and shot him to get revenge for the death of Platoon. Modell was shot in the chest on the 6300 block of South Rhodes Ave. His cousin Miles was with him at the time, and when he went to go help his cousin, the shooters also hit him several times. They were both brought to the hospital, and Miles managed to pull through, but Modell, unfortunately, passed away. The next person mentioned was another dude from Chicago named P5, aka Crack. P5 was allegedly associated with Jarl City, a set that's made up of gangster disciples and renegade BDs who are known to beef with O Block. P5 was a well-known drug dealer in the area. On October 30th, 2012, he went to meet up with one of his regular clients to sell him some product. But when he arrived, he was greeted by not one, but 5 men. Knowing this was a setup, P5 turned to run away, but he was shot in the back before he could escape. The group then circled around him and shot him 15 more times in the face and the body. The scene was so gruesome that police had a tough time identifying the victim when they arrived on the scene. The case remains unsolved, but the rumors are that the group of shooters were from O Block, including J Money, T-Roy, and of course, King Von. Tyreek Levat was a 27-year-old man who was killed in a shooting that happened after a house party in the Hidden Village Apartments in Southwest Atlanta in March 2019.
Story: a shooting leaves 1 person dead, 4 others injured. This happened at an apartment complex in Southwest Atlanta. Latasha, what are we learning about their conditions this morning?
4 other people were also shot, but Tyreek is the only one who passed away. Before the shooting took place, a fight broke out between men at the party, and at some point, someone started letting off shots. At that point, Lil Durk and many of his entourage had already left Chicago and settled in Atlanta to focus on music. Rumors are that several OTF members, including Von, were in attendance. A group of Bloods from Atlanta beat up an OTF affiliate named Brazy, so they started shooting. This murder also remains unsolved, but according to the Twitch stream, King Von is believed to have been involved. And last was Malcolm Stucky, a man who was shot and killed at a house party on the 5700 block of South LaSalle Street on May 29, 2014. Von was also at the house party that night, and according to rumors, he saw Stucky giving him a dirty look. He was by himself at the time, so he decided to leave the party and recruit the help of another BD from O Block named Big Mike. Big Mike was the older brother of FBG Wooski, Von's main rival. But when Wooski was kicked out of O Block, Mike stayed in Parkway Gardens and remained loyal to the BDs. When Von and Big Mike returned to the party, they allegedly spotted Stucky standing on the front porch with some friends and opened fire. Stucky was killed in the shooting, and 2 others were injured. Both Von and Big Mike would be arrested a few weeks later and charged with 1 count of murder and 2 counts of attempted murder. They were both looking at spending decades in prison, if not life, so Mike decided to flip and began cooperating with authorities. He told them that both he and Von had opened fire on the victims, but Von was the one that fired the kill shot. Like most murder trials, the case took several years to make it to court. During that time, either someone got to Big Mike, or the reality of being labeled a snitch and having to return to Chicago started to weigh in on him, because at the last minute, he refused to testify. Prosecutors struggled to find witnesses from that night to come forward. Plus, it had already been so long since the shooting took place, so it was tough to find any solid evidence and force a conviction. So, Mike ended up going down for the whole thing, and Von was released after spending several years fighting the case. Check out our previous video on rappers who beat a murder charge for more info on this case. So, once you look at the story behind all these names, it makes sense that King Von was pretty shocked when they were brought up in an interview. Someone was clearly trying to troll him to get a reaction. Although he didn't say anything incriminating, you can tell that he knows exactly what the comment is supposed to mean. It's tragic that fans never got to see Von reach his full potential as an artist and transition fully from the streets into music. He clearly had the talent to become one of the biggest drill rappers in the world based on his rapping talent and the respect he got from the streets. But when you take a closer look at where he came from, it's hard to ignore the fact that Von really lived the life he rapped about. And when you put out that type of energy, eventually it's gonna come back and get you.